everybody, and this is a much anticipated video that I have been so ecstatic to make, right? Um, and in my discovery of looking through so many bags and canvassing through the gently used bags. If you look at my previous videos, you're going to know that my pick of LV bags are bags that are either discontinued or like the classics, the Nose, the Speedies, and things like that. But the newer brand to me, personally, the quality of it with LV has changed to me. Um, and over the years, and I am not as impressed with some of the newer items. So I started seeking like the older items. I am someone who absolutely love Louis Vuitton. I'm not going to go deep into that because you can look at my archive videos and it will explain my passion for this luxury house. Today is a specific I'm gonna say non-long. Oh my God, our minds all over the place. Um, this is a specific video over a specific trend that I've been speaking about for quite some time when it comes to discovering um, the craftsmanship of Louis Vuitton and its genius. Um, Over the time frame, things seem to change, styles change. You have to flow, you have to bend with the changes, right? Um, Everything comes back in full circle eventually. You know, we've revisited the 80s styles, we've revisited the 90s styles, the 60s and 70s styles, the 50 styles of clothing and bags and all that. It just, everything has a way of coming around. But one thing that I simply love about some things that Louis Vuitton did in its past was their attention to detail, their craftsmanship, the just the attention to um, the bag itself, the brass aspects of it, how certain things were stamped or certain things were tied or sewed down that now may not be sewed down. I told you guys some of the adventures that I've heard people experience when it came to the LV Diane. That's definitely not happening to my bag. I've been paying very close attention to it since I've heard about some things that people have been experiencing when it comes to the Diane. And that has not been my case. That has not been my experience with the tabs on the side kind of flying out like this. And all they had to do is actually be sewed down. Attention to detail. Diane remains one of my favorite handbags from Louis Vuitton, but I have heard several people on YouTube actually be really, really concerned about that issue of their bag. And when you invest that type of money in a handbag, that should be the least of your concerns. You know, things like that should not, that should be a quick fix, or that should be something that they go back into the arts and craft room of Louis Vuitton and take a different look of the design of the bag and remake it some kind of way, right? I don't want to go into very long detail because I'll be talking about that forever. But without further ado, I'm going to get into what I discovered. Again, how Louis Vuitton runs their luxury house is genius. Everybody knows that you guys have seen the Diane before in a different bag. Um, Everybody knows that the Speedy comes out with the Fall Speedy, or the Impromptu Speedy, and of course the most famous, the Canvas Speedy, but just different styles of the Speedy bag. Um, just a lot of repeats, a lot of redos, A bag will leave and come back, just like the bum bag left. Everybody lost their minds, paid double the amount of the bag, the worth of the bag, because they thought it was completely being gone away. And then months later, they not only came back with a small version of the bum bag, but a whole different version of the larger bum bag. So I have learned when Louis Vuitton takes off their site, a very popular bag that everybody that is in high demand, most of the time they're about to replace it with something similar to that bag, because this is what they do. I promise you, I've witnessed it, I've seen it. um, if there's complaints, if there's dislikes, if there's several cons to a bag, Louis Vuitton will hear the voice of the customer and try to make them whole. It doesn't always happen instantly. They look into it, they listen more and see how many consumers are not happy with one particular thing about a bag, and how they keep the money rolling is they'll discontinue that bag, or they'll let that bag continue, but then they'll reproduce another bag with the exact same name, but it'll be something different. Hint, carry on. When that came out, everybody was going bananas about those two vachetta straps in the front. They didn't like them. They didn't understand why they're there. Not even a whole year had passed to where they came out with another form of the carry-all. The two straps was missing. The two little string was missing from up front. They gave it a longer tab. It's everybody is happy, right? Just things like that. So they hear us. So make sure that if you are expressing discontentment, if you are expressing that you would like something to be a certain way, just express it in a positive aspect. You never know what CS or Louis Vuitton creative designer may be dipping in on your video and just listening to what you may have to say. Just always keep that in mind. So in my discovery of going back in the archives, I ran into a bag and it completely blew my mind. So I'm going to start with what everybody knows to be my most favorite bag from Louis Vuitton. She stands to be my most favorite bag of all time. I didn't think she would beat out the Florentine, but she has beat out the Florentine. She is my most favorite bag. And Florentine, by Florentine I mean the Dooney and Burke Florentine bag, is one of my favorite bags. But this bag, oh goodness, just stole my heart. Just stole it, and has it. It's theirs, and I love it. I absolutely love this bag. Without further ado, most people already know. If you're listening, if you watch me, it's the Graceful, and the Graceful is the sheer perfection. I absolutely love this bag. There's nothing about this bag to me that is a con. Everything is a pro about it. I love the way it caters to my body. I love the way I can put the kitchen sink in here, but I will not, due to I am made of flesh and bone. And if you continuously put something heavy against something so tender, eventually that tender starts to break down. Hint, hint, be mindful of what you put in your bags. Even though your bag can carry the kitchen sink, it doesn't mean you have to carry the kitchen sink. I never forget when I lifted up my niece's Neverfull that I had gave her a couple of years ago. And it was so heavy that I couldn't even believe that it was that heavy. I was like, what in the world could you possibly have in here? You know, it just, please, that's one of my things. Please, please, please be mindful of carrying heavy, heavy bags. But anyway, I digress. Graceful. So what I did is, in Louis Vuitton's infinite wisdom, I just kept thinking, I said, this could not be the only bag that just sheer magic, just sheer perfection to me. I love it. It's not over $2,000. It's under $2,000. It is perfect. It doesn't have that much vachetta leather on it. It is just a simple canvas bag that gives me my whole entire life. And I love this bag, y'all. I can't even sing its praises any more than I already have. This is my favorite bag of all time. Um, but all I'm trying to say is, I know the history because I'm studying and watching Louis Vuitton. I know that there had to be another bag outside of the delightful that had to be similar to this bag. Um, they can't just come up with something that is sheer magic and not be a trial and error before, right? Because mostly all of Louis Vuitton bags, except for the classic, let me name the classics again: Speedy and the No are the first Louis Vuitton bags that were ever created. They're never going away. They're going to always be there in some fashion. The No and the Speedy. The number 3 bag that has made its way up to one of Louis Vuitton's classics is the Neverfull. Those 3 bags will never go away. They're going to always be around. They're simply classic bags. The Graceful, to me, should fall in the line of being a classic. Whether it does or doesn't, it's a classic to me. But all I'm trying to say is, Louis Vuitton. Give me 1 second. I may be getting interrupted. I hear my spouse. Oh, hold on, y'all. Hold on. I'm sorry. That was my spouse. He wasn't coming in here. He was walking, and I didn't want him to interrupt me talking. But anyway, so I gave you guys the list of the classic handbags, right? So the Graceful, I said there had to be a trial by error with this bag, because Louis Vuitton has tons of bags like this, right? They have tons of them. So when it came out, I was like, this is a beautiful, beautiful bag with the reverse monogram hobo bag with that dip in it. It didn't really appeal to me as a hobo bag, even though it is a hobo bag. I'm not a real reverse monogram person. I had it. I never reached for it. I got caught up in the hype. I wish I hadn't. It's just that simple. But the Graceful is a very classic hobo bag in its fruition, right? But I knew she could not just be the first that just came out like they got it right the first time. There had to be something that came before it. So that's what I started searching. I just keyed in LV archived or discontinued hobo bags, and there are several. One I came across that they called it the croissant, and I was like, I didn't like that one. I didn't like how the straps was made on it. Wasn't a very appealing bag to me. Just several different ones, several different versions. But of course, this is the Graceful, and the one that came before her was the Delightful, and this is the Delightful MM, and she was the one that came before the Graceful. They say that the Graceful replaced the Delightful, and a lot of people like the Delightful. The Delightful is okay. She is not on my top favorite list of handbags, but she's okay. She is a hobo bag. She is nice. She has a lot of reinforcements on her as far as how that is reinforced here, how it has the piping around it and things like that. So I looked at these 2 bags and I said there are some vast differences between these bags. My Graceful and no Graceful has any framing around the top, right? But this Delightful has the vachetta frame around the top, similar to the Neverfull. So I kept looking at that, and I was like, okay, so There's similarities between these bags, but they're not identical to me. Some people say that the Delightful is the mother to the Graceful, and I really say that the Delightful is a third cousin to the Graceful, and the Artsy would be one that would slide right in between them, based on the Artsy structure. The Artsy and the Graceful are very much the same bag. It's got the Artsy has the braided strap, and the Graceful has the leather vachetta. Um, to me, out of all the bum bags, if we want to compare a bum bag to a tote bag, this would be the only one out of the bum bags that would be similar. That would be similar to the Neverfull. This, the Delightful, not the Graceful. To me, very nice bag. Not one of my reach for. I reach for her, but I don't. Very nice bag though. Very very nice bag. The Delightful is a nice bag. I don't know what it is about the Delightful, but she's not one that I reach for often. Um, the craftsmanship of it is very nice, um, but I don't know what it is. Even though she has a lot of similarities to the Graceful, you would think that I would automatically like this bag, but I do not. Um, I don't know if it's because of how the the materials of this, the canvas of this is a little different, and the canvas on the Graceful is softer, and it kind of flows with your body, and this one does not. Maybe that's it. Um, but I have not carried her enough, because I know people that have a Delightful, and she is just as slouchy and just as she's a true bum bag. The This is a true bum bag, and maybe I need to let her sit out in the sun some and get some sun so she can kind of get loosened up some. But that's another very nice bum bag created by Louis Vuitton that I think is nice. But she's not one of my top bags. So again, I kept looking, and I kept looking, y'all. I kept looking. And I saw a bag called the Sharon Stone bum bag, something to that effect, that was inspired by Sharon Stone. Um, it looks sort of like a no in a sense. A no and a bum bag kind of collaborated. Um, it didn't really appeal to me that much. I didn't like the look because I have a no already, and I just feel like, what would be the point of getting a bag that I just didn't need it. It was really just be a waste. But what I did find out, that before the Graceful, before the Delightful, there was a such thing called the Sully. Yes, the Sully. The Sully. The Sully bag. The LV Sully bag. There's two makes of this bag, because just like I've said before, if you go through the archives and you study what you love or interested in, you should always know the background about it, and why they do certain things that they do. Louis Vuitton listens to their consumer. On the first run of the Sully, they made this vachetta strap so incredibly thick. This still is thick compared to the Graceful. This still is a thick um, portion of leather, right? Very thick. But before they revamped it, it was thicker than this. And she was shorter. This is the newer version of the Sully. But there is one that came out prior to this one that it was shorter. It may have been like this, and much thicker. And I'm not exaggerating. Just look at some YouTube videos. and key in Sully, LV Sully, MM or PM. This bag does come in a MM or PM. It does not come in a GM. Out of these three hobo bags that are before me, the only one that comes in a GM or GM MM. Wait a minute. This is the PM. I'm sorry. This is the Delightful PM. And the Delightful the Delightful MM or NM is huge. And I think it is the MM. I think it is the MM. Don't quote me on that, but I will get that information for you. And that one is the one with all the bells and whistles with the zippers up front and all of that. I'm just not a delightful person when it comes to it just doesn't cater to me. It just doesn't. It's a nice bag for whomever likes it. But the Sully captured my heart. So this one is nice, but she not hitting on anything. These two are sheer perfection. Sheer perfection. They are the ones that are both hobo bags, but in contrast, they're similar but very different bags. And they have so much similarities, but they have so many things that they do not share alike. One thing that they do share alike is the vachetta strap right here. They're both monogram. They're both hobo bags. They both take quite a bit of they both have quite a bit of room inside where you can take quite a bit of anything you want to carry, even an overnight outfit if you needed to. Both of these bags can be your everyday bag, can be your travel bag, not necessarily for a long stay, but maybe for overnight. I would not pack either one of these up like that. Different than how the No is top heavy. You could pack a couple of outfits in the No. You can even put a laptop and a tablet in the No. You can put a laptop and a tablet in the Graceful. I have not tried to put one in the Sully, but I'm almost 100% certain that a tablet can fit inside the Sully. I don't know about a laptop, and I'm not even going to try to put a laptop in it. So I digress. But these are the two that I absolutely love because they're similar, but they have enough difference between them that you can feel like you're carrying two separate bags. So you guys already know how much I love the Graceful and why, right? No cons for the Graceful. What I absolutely love about the Graceful, and it's gonna sound strange, it's something, and it's crazy, but those are the same things that how can I say this? What I absolutely love about the Graceful is the same is different aspects of this bag that's totally different than the Graceful that I absolutely love. One thing that stands out between these two bags is that the Sully has a zipper, that double zipper, and I love the double zipper. I love the zipper. Who knew? Who knew that we wanted a zipper? This bag existed long before I could afford to buy luxury handbags to this magnitude, right? So who knew that other than the people who had been buying luxury handbags back then, that there was a bag that could give me my whole life with two zippers on it. And here it is with the two beautiful zippers with the vachetta at the end with the Louis Vuitton logos on it. And there it is. I heard that some people had issues with the zipper getting hung. I don't know why, but they said it was kind of tough. Mine, because I guess it's generally used, no issues at all. The inside of it has this slap of um, of canvas here, and it's another bag. I don't know if this is the Palas, the Tivioli. It's another bag. Louis Vuitton was doing this, and I think they just stopped doing it. Louis Vuitton was doing this extra layer of canvas on the inside for some of their older bags. I don't know the reason behind it, but I like it. I like that extra canvas right there when you first open up the bag. I don't know why I like it. I think it's just the beauty of it. Um, and then the inside of here is like that textile lining. It gives you those deep, beautiful pockets. I have an organizer in her. She's very soft, very beautiful. The bag is beautiful. This is before. Let me see. the The difference between the graceful is everywhere. Well, I'm gonna take that back. Okay, on the graceful, the studs have Louis Vuitton on it. On the Sully, these have Louis Vuitton on it. The ring on neither one of the D rings, Louis Vuitton is not on either one. Um, it's not that much for Cheddar on the graceful. Both of them have about the same amount of a Cheddar on it. Um, let me see. So they didn't go all out and put Louis Vuitton on everything. It's the same with the Delightful. Just on the studs of the Delightful, Louis Vuitton was written, engraved in it. And the graceful, the Delightful has the clasps, like the Never Full. So it has, again, that's another thing that's similar to the Never Full, that little clasp on the inside. So all three of these have three different openings. They're three different versions of a hobo bag, and they give you three different. They all give you a similar look because they are hobo bags, but they are totally three different forms of the same style bag, and that's why I love these two very much. I love the Sully. I know it's an older bag. I know it's been out for a while, but I love it. The previous owner took care of this. The pipings on there is still intact. There's no tears or anything. The reinforcement here, that fold right there, I love it. I love it. The reinforcement here is totally different. And then the reinforcement on the graceful is totally different. On all three of these hobo bags, there is separate canvases. It's not one running canvas. So one side won't be upside down like the Speedy. Both sides will be right side up. And you're going to get one slap of canvas here, one slap of canvas on the back. And the canvas runs all the way down and meet at the bottom. I think with the same with the graceful. And the graceful has the folds right here. I wonder why they changed it, because the graceful has the fold and it's not as on the Sully, the fold is more like an envelope, sort of like really folded. But on the graceful, it is folded in at the bottom here, right? That reinforcement, but it's not as pronounced. It's like a little fold right there. They might not have changed it for any specific reason. It just might be that they just did it a different way just to make it look slightly different than the same exact bag. Yeah, so both of them is genius. I love the clasp because even though this is not a zipper right here, I still feel very comfortable with carrying the graceful securely because that clasp is everything, y'all. If you have a graceful, you know anybody has one, or if you ever watched any videos on it, this thing right here is everything. That magnetic clasp will close this bag up. Unlike the tote never full, which is an open tote. That's what a tote is open. Um, and like the delightful is open unless you do the clasp on it. But that's one thing that the Sully takes away all of that concern, because it has the two zippers. And that's just everything on ice right now. That's everything on ice. This is oh my God! It is a simple, beautiful hobo bag. Just so simple. All three of these are just simple bags. They don't have a lot of bells and whistles. They don't have a lot of pockets on the outside, extra stuff going on. They just simple. This is what you get. And I believe what I'm finding out is the simplicity of just being a simple luxury handbag is what drives me to these bags, because they're not all crazy and making all kinds of see me, watch me, this is what I can do. I can fold back like this. If you turn me this way, I can do that. If you unzip me, it'll open up another blah 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 or whatever. Isn't those are it just a simple gaping hole on the inside. The two zippers here does not limit space, as well as the opening with the magnetic strip or the opening with the clasp. All three of these I can fit the exact same organizer in. All three of these have very, very sheer perfection as far as how they're made, as far as how the mechanics of it is. I love the folds of the graceful, and I also love that piping on the Sully. So there's no cons for either one of these bags. I love both of these bags for two different for the reasonings of them. You know, that I'm not comparing them to be similar. Like I wish this had that. I wish that. No, I like the bags for what they have individually, and that's why I think that people are probably like, well, you just bought the exact same bag over again. Very similar to the graceful, but it's not the same bag. It is a hobo bag, just like the graceful, just like the delightful. They're all three hobo bags, but they're not the same bag. They're not. Um, I can get three different uses out of all three. I can clasp this one or leave it wide open. I can zip this one, and I won't be leaving it wide open. And even if I try to leave the graceful wide open, if you know about the graceful, it's gonna find its other side and clasp. It's gonna close up on its own. It's just gonna do it. That's how strong that magnet on that graceful is. It's a perfect bag. But yeah, you guys. So I was able to grab me one of these. You can find these on the generally used sites from anywhere from. I would watch it if it's under $900, unless she's just beat up, the canvas is torn, something is just messed up with it, and I would ask the seller to show you all mechanics of that bag, even the authenticity, because even though this bag is an older bag, it still kind of holds its value. When it first came out, this bag was around $1,300 to $1,400 with taxes and all that. And it still kind of is in that same amount to today, because you can always get the vachetta replaced. Only thing that you cannot replace with Louis Vuitton is the canvas. So if you tear the canvas, you rip the canvas, you burn the canvas, something happens to your canvas, you're SOL. Unless it's a mechanical functionality that Louis Vuitton is correcting because of something they did. But if it's not something they did and you just had a whoopsie, unfortunately you had a whoopsie with a luxury handbag. Yeah, good luck with that. And some people will still buy it from you, because if you know a cobbler, they can fix it. They can make the bag completely over, and well, you won't even know anything ever happened to it. That's another story for another day. But yes, so the sheer magic of Louis Vuitton, one of my most favorite luxury houses of all time, is they may duplicate, they may remake, they may bring out another bag that was out years ago, but there's always going to be some kind of added bells and whistles to it, and maybe subtle, it may be simple. A zipper may be replaced with a clasp. The clasp may be replaced with a magnetic holding closure. So, hey, I love what you do. Keep on bringing out these hobo bags. Yes, I love big bags, but just because, I'm going to go back over this, you guys, just because I love carrying large bags does not mean I have the kitchen sink in here. This bag is very light. I only have my necessities in here. It is shaped the way it's supposed to be, because I found out that if I take this organizer out of it, she'll sit up like the graceful. And I thought it was kind of weird because I was like, why isn't this bag slouching? Because if you like a hobo bag, you like it because of the slouch, and the roominess. And I was like, when am I going to get the slouch? So I said, let me put an organizer in here. And instantly, as soon as I put the organizer in it, it said, oh, I'm slouching. It's the strangest thing because normally when I put an organizer in a bag, it doesn't slouch. Because see, the Graceful has an organizer in it. That's why you don't see it drooping or anything like that. Like you most of the time you see the Graceful. It's because she has an organizer in here that's keeping her sitting up in structure. But very different for the Sully. I haven't quite figured that out, and I don't care because I love it. But yeah, so I'm gonna keep on discovering the older discontinued bags where the craftsmanship was there, the attention to detail was there, where they put more into it, where things were well thought out, and they thought about their consumers' dollar, and not just trying to produce to keep up with the other luxury houses. So that's where it is to me. I canvass the older size travesty, what goes around, people who resell their or what they call rehome their luxury handbags, and because they're just not reaching for them. That's why I canvas, and make deals and trade outs and stuff like that. So yeah, so she's added to my collection. I'm very happy with her. I will be carrying her for a while. So I have switched out of my Florentine Dunienberg into the Sully. I did not do a full unboxing on the Sully because I wanted to look her over before I pulled off the tags. So I did not do that unboxing because I wanted to have a deep dive on her to make sure that what I was looking at was correct, in the right place, no nicks, no hidden tears or something like that was going on, and whomever had this bag previously took very much care of it. The inside is immaculate, you guys. So yes, I'm very happy with this purchase, and there you have it. There you have it. Gently used, discontinued Louis Vuitton bags will not steer you wrong. I promise. Have a wonderful, peaceful evening. Take care of yourselves. Make somebody smile today. Somebody needs your smile. Take advantage of that moment, and you may be able to change someone's life. Be peaceful, everybody.